Hello and welcome back for another conversation on Kundalini, and today I am sharing my specific story and awakening, my Kundalini awakening. So as I shared in the first video, you can go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. It's all about what Kundalini is and why I find it to be one of the most powerful meditation practices that we could have access to. I shared that I had a specific awakening, and if I had Googled Kundalini before I actually experienced it myself, I would have been extremely scared and probably ran away from the practice and wouldn't have tried it because it gets a bad rap. There's this energy around it that it could be dangerous, it could be too powerful, and that may be true for some people. I feel that I had a very graceful and blissful experience of awakening that I want to share with you today. And I think that there's a way that we can all awaken this Kundalini in a very gentle, soft, and approachable way. It doesn't have to be this massive energy that all of a sudden runs through our body that our body can't control and handle. I feel that that's the concern sometimes, that it can be just too much for our system to process. So it is very important to prime your system, and I will share about that towards the end of the video so that you can be sure you are priming your system and your nervous system to be able to handle and hold the energy of Kundalini within you. So for my story, it started in 2017 when I realized I was experiencing extreme anxiety for most of my life, but it came to a head. It was a time where I was experiencing the most extreme panic attacks that I've ever had. All my anxiety really came to a peak. My heart would start racing out of nowhere, and racing so much that the blood would leave my face, my lips would turn white, and I felt like the next moment I was either going to have a heart attack or pass out. And in these moments, I started to realize, wow, I've lived with anxiety most of my life, didn't realize it, and I need to do something about this. I would go to doctor appointments, just regular doctor appointments, and every doctor would tell me, are you aware that you have anxiety? And I would say yes. And they asked if I was doing anything about it, and they would tell me my options. And at the time, I just didn't know what I wanted to do about it. I really was uncertain. I was pre-hypertension at the age of 25. My blood pressure was very high because of the anxious thoughts I was having and the anxiety that was running through my body. I struggled with health anxiety most of my life. Now, looking back in hindsight, I realized it was a way to try to control my outcome and to actually manifest health, which is the complete opposite of everything I now know. I thought by worrying about my health, I would be able to control and be in perfect health. But it led to being in a state of fight or flight 24/7 and having negative thoughts run through my head all day, every day. And I started to realize that this wasn't normal and it shouldn't be how I was living. I started to look around and look at some of my friends and how they were practicing manifestation, and I realized they were putting their energy towards the things that they wanted in their life, and I was focusing all of my energy on the things I didn't want. And while all of this was going on, I started to ask the higher power universe, just ask for something to come into my life to help support me, because I didn't want to live like this anymore. And I'll be honest, at the time I had zero faith. I didn't believe in angels. I didn't believe in a higher power. I just thought, you lived, you died, and this is the experience. And that also was contributing to so much fear. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe in where I was and what the future held. So one day I decided to go plant-based, and I'm going to do a whole video on how plant-based living really changed my life. I'm no longer 100% plant-based, but at the time I became plant-based, which really helped me to shift my frequency. And shortly after, I started to feel a bit of a change within me, and I got the message that you must start meditating. I didn't know the first thing about meditation. I came from a family that certainly did not meditate, and they still don't, most of them. And I just felt like, wow, that's interesting. I don't know why that message came to me. I don't know how to start, but okay, I'll see what that means. From there, I started to journal. I would ask for things as I journaled every day. I would just ask, please help me to find what I need so that I can live a calmer, less anxious life, so I can start to use my energy to manifest rather than to, God forbid, create something that I didn't want. And sure enough, I received a piece of content that popped up on my page, and I didn't know what it was about, but something called me to it. And it ended up being a 5-day challenge of Kundalini breathwork, only 5 minutes a day. And in the moment I saw it, I immediately sent it to my friend. She was like my spiritual guide at the time. She's a great teacher. And I asked her, do you think this is a good idea for me to practice? Because at the time I didn't have my intuition. I did because I heard that message, but it wasn't strongly activated. I didn't trust it as much, and I was still looking for opinions and guidance from the outside. However, before she could even answer, I had already signed up for the challenge. I started to practice in my bed every morning, chanting mantras I had no idea the meaning of. And my husband would kind of be like, what is going on in our bedroom while he was getting ready for work? It's like, these are very unfamiliar sounds that I'm hearing from the bedroom. But I started chanting in my bed and going right into breath work. And I will never forget the first time I practiced. It was actually at night. It was dark in my room. I practiced 3 minutes of a breath work, and I just laid down after feeling completely euphoric, almost orgasmic. And I remember thinking to myself, this must be what it feels like to be calm in your body. And I've prayed for this feeling, and I've never felt this in my life. I felt good in my body. I felt safe in my body. And in that moment, I said, I am committing to 3 to 5 minutes of this every morning. And at the time, I was an elementary school teacher. Before school, I was never a morning person. I think that's really important to add. I love sleeping in, but I made it a point to wake up just 5 minutes earlier before my school day to tune in and to meditate. And instantly, I felt relief. And if you've practiced, you may know that feeling. You feel free of whatever chatter was going on in your head prior to tuning in to your meditation practice. You feel lighter physically. You feel the oxygenation of your body, your blood, your cells. You start to feel like everything is in rhythm. And that's what I started to feel. In that moment, it felt like absolute bliss. Throughout my day is when I realized I was up to something, because I noticed I had more energy. I noticed I now had a different perspective on my job, on the impact my energy had on others, on my relationships. I started to feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude in my body that I never felt before. And I started to realize that I was onto something. So I continued to practice, and I got the message that I had to go and get trained in this, to share this with other people, because it is such a powerful tool that completely transformed me from the inside out. I started to feel less anxious. I started to be able to take the power back over my thoughts and choose another thought. When one came into my mind that was negative, I can now choose a positive one because new neural pathways were forming. And the thing about positive thoughts is that they're more powerful than negative ones. So all that this breath work and this practice started to do was put so much positive momentum behind me. And eventually, over time, with consistent practice, the fearful thoughts dissipated, the anxiousness dissipated. I am now in this place of faith and surrender that I never was able to access prior. And it has impacted every single part of my life. I ended up leaving my teaching job, which was a really safe and incredible career, and doing this full time, sharing and teaching others through my platform on how to access this energy within them through different types of meditations and breath work. My relationships have been impacted greatly. I have this wider perspective and increased empathy, understanding, patience. And throughout the process, I kept saying to people, they didn't understand me at the time, I didn't understand me at the time, but I kept saying, I feel like I have more access to different parts of my brain that I wasn't able to access before. And that's because through this, we're able to tap into the gray matter of our brain, activate different points in our brain based off of the mudras, the breath work, the mantra, and access more of us. I felt like I was seeing from a new set of eyes with so much wisdom. And sometimes wisdom comes with time and years on earth, but this practice actually helps us to accelerate our experience, and we're able to be downloaded with more wisdom, understanding, and perspective. And it was truly an awakening. I started to experience signs from the universe. I would see hearts everywhere, butterflies everywhere, things I would never be able to see if I was not on this frequency. So the awakening process for me was blissful and exciting and just so fulfilling. I felt finally at home in my body. And that can be it for you, or it can be quite different. It depends how much we really need to heal within ourselves and how much we could take any pain, residual pain, and transmute that into power. But what I think is really important as you embark on your Kundalini journey is preparing the body, starting to look at the things that you're eating, the things you're consuming, the environments that you're in. Start to clean that up and release and detox the physical body. And then start really small. There's a reason why I'm offering those 3 to 5 minute meditations. They're powerful, they're potent, they're going to do the job. They led me to this awakening, but I did it little by little, and I made sure that I was ready. And your intuition is going to start to speak to you so quickly. You're going to know when you're ready for more, when you're ready to dive deeper into a longer and deeper practice. So just allow this energy to move through you. Allow it to awaken you intuitively so that you could follow your own guidance system and set intention for your journey. Ask for a blissful, peaceful ascension process, and that you be guided to all the contents, the meditations that you need to support you on your specific journey. If you have any questions about my journey, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I'm so excited to have this channel and share about this experience. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel so you could see more of the content that I'm going to share here. And if you're ready to dive right in to some of the meditations, I will have some on this channel that will be shorter, bite-sized tastes. And from there, if you're ready for some longer, deeper meditations or even access to a wide variety of topics and intentions, you can click the link below. It's going to give you a 7-day completely free trial so that you can have access to over 500 life-changing meditations ranging anywhere from 3 minutes to 1 hour. I'm so excited for you to be here. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.